Good evening and welcome to the SUTV News Podcast. I'm Jacob Hitz alongside Bailey Casada.
Tonight we cover more on the coronavirus.
And fellow Democratic politicians come out in support of Joe Biden.
All that and more right here on SUTV News.
We begin tonight once again with the coronavirus, as Johns Hopkins University reported early yesterday morning that cumulative cases of COVID-19 have reached 2 million worldwide. The United States leads in the number of cases with just over 600,000, and Spain is behind them at 182,000. Despite the ever-growing number of cases, there have been nearly 550,000 people that have recovered from the virus around the globe, and that number is continuing to grow exponentially. The United States as well is reporting less cases per day. Last week, Johns Hopkins University was reporting over 31,000 new cases of COVID-19 per day in the U.S. Today, that average number of cases per day continues to drop and is sitting at around 27,000 a day. That number is slowly dropping more and more each day. The FDA issued emergency authorization to 2 more antibody tests that could identify if an individual is safe to return to work. Dr. Anthony Fauci precautions Americans first, however, before hopes get too high.
With viruses that we deal with all the time, when you develop an antibody after infection, it almost invariably means you're protected. We don't absolutely know that for sure yet.
Here in the Keystone State, the number of COVID-19 cases has steadily been decreasing. Today, the PA Department of Health announced that there are currently 27,735 cases of COVID-19. And there are currently 707 confirmed deaths due to the novel coronavirus as well in the state of Pennsylvania. Testing sites have been set up all across the state for COVID-19. If you are experiencing symptoms like fever, shortness of breath, or a dry cough, contact your medical provider. Visit health.pa.gov for more information on testing sites and much more.
Amazon is doing its best to help protect and test their employees. SUTV's Trevor Arnold tells us more.
E-commerce giant Amazon has begun developing its own novel coronavirus tests for workers. It's an effort to get the pandemic-battered economy moving again. CEO Jeff Bezos has put together a team of Amazon employees from different units to come up with new tools for COVID-19 testing. In his annual letter to shareholders, Bezos emphasized the need for regular testing in every industry and for more testing capacity. He said the company will start testing small numbers of employees soon. Amazon has faced criticism that the company isn't doing enough and has fired outspoken critics. However, Bezos wrote that he's focused on the safety of Amazon's workforce. He said the company has made 150 significant process changes, including temperature checks and offering personal protection equipment to employees. Reporting from SUTV News, I'm Trevor Arnold.
Thousands of protesters in Michigan gathered at the Capitol building on Wednesday. According to the Associated Press, roughly 3,000 to 4,000 people came out to protest, including around 150 people gathering on the steps of the Capitol building. Most protesters remained in their cars, waving flags and honking their horns, while others got out of their vehicles with signs protesting Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer and her stay-at-home order in the state. In the state of Michigan, schools and businesses are closed, and a stay-at-home order is in place until the end of April. Governor Whitmer had this to say.
The fact of the matter is, it's still too dangerous to have people just out and about unnecessarily so. And so we have a pretty strict stay-home order. Michigan has the third highest number of deaths from COVID-19, and we're not the third biggest state in the country. We're a large state, an important state. But because of this, disproportionate impact on our state, we have to take serious measures.
As of noon on April 16th, Michigan had 28,059 cases and 1,921 deaths due to COVID-19.
On the political front, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden got a lot more support this week. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren dropped out of the presidential race, but they said they would endorse Vice President Biden in his bid for the Oval Office. Senator Bernie Sanders appeared on a live stream with Joe Biden and had this to say.
So today I am asking all Americans, I'm asking every Democrat, I'm asking every independent, I'm asking a lot of Republicans to come together in this campaign to support your candidacy, which I endorse, to make certain that we defeat somebody who I believe, and I'm speaking just for myself now, is the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country.
Along with two other former Democratic candidates, previous President Barack Obama released a video endorsing his former vice president.
The kind of leadership that's guided by knowledge and experience, honesty and humility, empathy and grace. That kind of leadership doesn't just belong in our state capitals and mayor's offices. It belongs in the White House. And that's why I'm so proud to endorse Joe Biden for President of the United States. Choosing Joe to be my vice president was one of the best decisions I ever made, and he became a close friend. And I believe Joe has all the qualities we need in a president right now.
Unemployment numbers were released today, and the numbers are staggering. 22 million Americans have lost their jobs and filed for unemployment over the last 4 weeks, with 5.2 million applying within the last week. According to the Associated Press, this translates to roughly 13% of the American workforce currently unemployed. However, the rate of those applying for unemployment appears to be down slightly, with unemployment applications topping 6 million each of the last 2 weeks. Currently, Wyoming is seeing the smallest increase proportionally in those applying for unemployment. This means that the amount of those applying for unemployment each week compared to a year ago has increased by 721%. The state with the largest increase proportionally belongs to South Dakota, with an astonishing 7,495% increase.
The Small Business Association has announced that there's no money left to give to applicants for the Paycheck Protection program, according to Fox News. Congress has been playing tug-of-war over passing a bill that would replenish the Small Business Association and give them more money to disperse. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin asked for $250 billion from Congress for the SBA last week. Democrats have been fighting to give money not only to the SBA in this bill, but also give money to hospitals and the states. Republicans are holding their ground, saying they will not approve anything unless it is the $250 billion asked for by Secretary Mnuchin.
A car accident led one woman to end up stealing a news van with someone still trapped inside. SUTV's Sean Smith has the story.
An Atlanta woman was arrested Tuesday morning for stealing a news van with the reporter still inside. According to police, a photographer got out of the van to set up a camera when Shaniqua Lunsford, who was involved in the crash, jumped into the van. Little did she know was that CBS reporter Iana Hughes was still in the back of the van editing video when it all happened. Police say the reporter was in the back of the van screaming for help.
The reporter inside the vehicle tried to make the woman stop and pull over. The suspect wouldn't do that, so she did the smart thing. She got into her seat and put her seatbelt on, and the vehicle continued to this location where it crashed.
An Atlanta police officer says the reporter was not hurt and the suspect was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Lunsford was reportedly acting strange at the scene of the accident and is being charged with kidnapping. From SUTV News, I'm Sean Smith.
And that will conclude this episode of the SUTV News Podcast.
Make sure to tune in to the Sunday edition of SUTV News for sports, entertainment, and much more.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at SUTV News, and check out our website at sutvnews.org.
From all of us here at SUTV News, thank you so much for listening. For Bailey Casada, I'm Jacob Hitz. Stay safe, wash your hands, and good night.